Welcome to the Stop Losing Women podcast, where it's all about learning how to keep a girl like me interested for the long haul, if you think you can handle it. And now, here's your host, Perry Wilmington.
Now, in the previous show, I mentioned a guy that was going through some dating struggles. He had texted a woman that he met online and it wasn't going well. And in that show, I really talked about the other things he had going on in his life pertaining to being homeless, having tried drugs, that was really resulting in him not getting the results that he wanted, in part because when you have that kind of stuff going on, how you present yourself, you might not be aware that that's the thing that's actually causing you to lose women, right? But beyond that, there is this belief nowadays that online dating is just horrible. Everybody on there completely sucks and there's no good candidates. And I know as a man, men get on there and they're like, man, these women, I match with them. I message them a few times. And the next thing I know, they're suddenly dropping out like a bad habit. And I don't know what went on. These women are crazy, right? And so, but this is the thing, right? Men will complain in general about trying to pick up women in any space where they're not successful. So as many men as I hear complain about, online dating, it's totally terrible. Women are just crazy. I also hear men complain about, I don't do cold approaches because women don't like when I approach. They're totally crazy. Or, I don't want to do bars because I'm not the kind of person and women there are totally crazy. And it seems like any place you try to suggest to them that they could go to get women, the response is, I don't want to do that. Women are crazy. They don't know what they want. So you have to ask yourself, if every single place you go to results in you not having success with women, could it be the places you're going to, or could it be that your approach actually sucks? Because I can tell you, I've been to places where, like, you would think there should be no reason anybody's hitting on anybody here at all. Networking events, going to like a friend's baby shower, whatever like that. But if you know what to look out for in terms of when women are talking to you and you kind of know the flow pattern of which conversation should go, that's going to result in her feeling a thing enough to want to like talk to you later, then you can have success anywhere, including doing online dating. Because I did it for a lot of years and had a lot of success. So I say this because, like I said, this guy was having a conversation. And if you were to ask him, because he says, I thought this conversation was going great. And then all of a sudden she won't answer me when I ask for a date. She must be tripping, right? And yet again, this is an example of, does he know that the way in which he's having a conversation is actually not beneficial? Because I can assure, whether this guy is trying to hit up somebody online or hit up somebody in person, if he doesn't know the kind of conversation to have that's going to make a woman feel like she's naturally attracted to him, he's going to fail in any arena. So I wanted to go over what his text was and really talk about why it is that it was an ineffective way to message this woman and what you should be doing instead to make sure that you're getting the results you want with regards to women, like meeting them online and then being able to get them offline. And by the way, I have a whole part of my Get Girls Academy called the Smart Digital Dating that just goes into the A's and B's of how to set up your profile, what kind of, how to match with women online, and what kind of messages to send that result in you getting dates. Now, you can go and hear that part of the program as well as the rest of the program by going to StopLosingWomen.com. You can sign up now for a free 3-day trial. If you like it after that, continue for a monthly fee. And if you don't like it, you can just cancel your membership. Also, it's a month-to-month. So even if you get onto the membership, you can just cancel anytime, 2 months, 5 months, a year from now, whenever you want to, all right? Also go to the website for one-on-one coaching options as well as my ebook. All right, so let's put up the guy's text on screen. All right, so this guy was asking, he says, what did I do wrong? No response after a generally decent, quick conversation. So he says, I just matched with this girl, super cute. She even hit me up first, which is great online. He said, I tried to play it cool, confident, and kind of push her buttons in a fun way. I think she liked it, but then when I asked her for a date, as everyone says, ask quickly, I got no response. Maybe she just hasn't seen it yet. It's only been 12 hours. Oh, she's definitely seen it. But I think I know how this one is going to play out. I got a lot of feedback after my last post, and I've already begun implementing. So before I go to my analyzation, let's go over what this guy's text is, right? So she says hi, weak, but most women are going to send hi, hey, how are you, whatever, right? And at this point, this is when you as the guy are supposed to take over the conversation and make it into a fun thing. So he says, what up, baby girl? So first mistake is he does not know this woman, and already he's trying to give her a cutesy nickname as if they're already together. This is the start, actually, of women feeling like you're trying to force it. Like, it'd be different if, like, they dated for like 2 months and it just kind of naturally came out that he ended up giving her or calling her a nickname, right? But early on, this is the moves of a guy to her that does this all the time. Oh, he must call every girl he's trying to date. It's like those old pimps in those old movies, like, hey, baby girl, hey, sweet thing, hey, sugar lips. Like, it doesn't sound natural, and it sounds like you're trying to force a connection that hasn't actually happened yet. So he's already off the first conversation, the first thing he sends to her, already making a mistake. But I'll digress. Continue on. She says, not much, just taking a break from work. How about you? Now, again, she is now making a boring conversation. Your job as the guy is to make this fun. He says, oh, that's relaxing. What's your job? I'm just working too. Getting ready to start a new job Monday, matter of fact. Okay. So now we're going to be talking about jobs. How fun is that? I want to talk about my job on a dating app. That is the kind of conversation that is going to make you feel very similar for her to the other guys on here that have tried to talk to her. And that's not going to help you stand out, and it's going to make you look boring. So then she says, I'm a research assistant. Okay. And then he says, that's kind of cute. I picture you with a magnifying glass, clipboard, and nerdy glasses, just researching random things around the city, smiley face. So he's trying to be playful and cute. It's fine-ish, but I've never been a believer in trying to, like, even jokingly throw like a nag or an insult to somebody, especially somebody I don't know. Like, on a new conversation, I'm not really trying to do any negative type of jabs. I might make some playful puns here and there, but I'm not trying to say anything directly about her or her body shape or what I think she's looking like or how cute she is. Like, I don't throw any of that in, like, early on. It's not going to happen. So then she says, LOL, no, I just do a lot of data collection and entering it into the computer. To be fair, she's also very boring in this conversation. But again, most women are expecting the guy to kind of pick up steam and be like, hey, like, he's going to ask me about something on my profile or ask me an interesting question that gets me, like, in the playful mood. So this is why like, women complain about, like, men approaching these days, and, like, they're very much like, oh my God, these guys are creeps and this and that. But they don't really have good approaches either. So of the two of you guys, sorry to say, guy, you kind of got to train yourself to be a better texting conversationalist and know what things to put into text that are going to make it fun. I find asking questions is the easiest way to do this because women love answering questions about themselves, and most people are so self-indulged and are so self about themselves that they typically want to talk more about themselves and not really ask questions. So you asking a woman questions about her life, her profile, etc., typically will put you ahead of most guys as it pertains to online dating. Anyway, she's boring. So then so after she said, I do data collection, he says, oh, so you are a nerd. I was right all along. Again, we can debate this. I'm not a fan of doing that kind of talk. I don't like calling people nerds or weird or none of that stuff within the confines of a dating profile because, again, they don't know each other enough to have that level of comfortability yet. So then she says, I know, LOL. Then he says, laughing emoji. I was like, this girl is crazy. I guess I like your humor. And she says, LOL, thanks. Now, him looking at this, he's going to be saying, she's saying LOL, she's saying thanks. And so she must really like the conversation that we're having. And what I'm noticing is that her answers are getting shorter. And keep in mind, women love to talk, and especially men that they have high interest in, they love to talk a lot. And at the beginning of this, she started out saying way more words, leaving 1 or 2 sentences at a time. And now she's down to like 3 words, less than 2 words. Like, she's making less and less. So I look at that and say, oh no, she's starting to lose interest because she went from trying to answer with a bunch of sentences to, like, now just kind of responding in kind, like, oh, yeah, okay, great. Oh, LOL, thanks. And typing LOL does not mean that she's actually laughing out loud in real life. But guys will read that and think, see, I'm making a laugh. See, she's having fun. And really, she's just being cordial because she doesn't want to be rude. But if she's not trying to add to the conversation, like she's not asking him stuff about himself or what he's up to, that's not a good sign. But this guy's not going to read that. And again, in the previous video, I talked about how he did drugs, he was on mushrooms, and so at least for 4 or 5 years. So he's not even in the capacity or mental space to understand that this conversation is actually going badly for him. So then He says, welk. So by the way, are you in whatever city? She says, yes, I am. He says, yep, yeah, same. I'm usually free on evenings and weekends. So if you're not busy, I would like to ask you out on Saturday afternoon, on Sunday afternoon, ? So here's the thing. They haven't had enough of a decent conversation for that to be the question. Now, to be fair, in my online dating days, there were times where just the first message, I'd be like, hey, how are you? And then the second one, I'd be like, hey, so like we could spend the next 2 or 3 weeks on here getting to know each other, or we could just go ahead and just meet each other in person and see what's what. And I had that work successfully because it makes me come off as very confident. And even then I'm saying, hey, so I'm coming out with a plan. Like, hey, we should meet up. I know a great place we can go to. We can meet today or tomorrow. If you're free, and then here's what the plan is. Like, I'm already mapping out what we're going to do. I'm not leaving it vague and saying, so we can meet up Sunday and do whatever. So all that to say, though, is that, so this guy is now getting a negative response, which is she's not responding back and she's not saying yes or no. She's just kind of ghosting him. So this guy's going to now say, see, this is why online dating is so bad, because women are just flaking this and that. And what he's not going to be able to see is that his conversation is the thing that turned her off, because it wasn't the most rudest thing in the world, but it was trying to ask her about a job, boring. It was trying to do these little neg hits. Oh, you're so nerdy. You wear glasses, blah, 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 blah. Boring. And the questions he was asking her about herself, it wasn't anything related to her profile or other things she has going on in life. It was just basic, boring. What's your job? What do you do? You're a nerd. Oh my God. And that's the same conversation she's probably having with a bunch of dudes, except for the ones that occasionally are like, oh, you got a nice rack or whatever, right? Like the really rude conversations. So suffice to say, guys, like now let's take that conversation. And he's like, okay, online dating sucks. If he had that same conversation at a networking event or at a party or some other kind of meetup entity, he would get the same result, which is the girl being kind of like, when he'd say like, can I get your number? I'll give you my social media, or, oh, I have a boyfriend, or, oh, whatever, because that kind of conversation doesn't elicit a woman's attraction, right? And so no amount of going any other place is going to make those results get better. He's going to say online dating sucks. He has that same conversation at a bar or at a networking event or at a friend's party. He's probably going to get the same result. So then he'll just say, oh, see, all girls are crazy because I asked them out at bars and at networking events or whatever, and they're just all like being rude, whatever, it's that. And he's not looking at, but no, dude, your combo sucks. And if you as a guy don't start to get the knowledge of what kind of things to say versus not say, what kind of questions to ask, what kind of things to reveal versus to kind of hide for later, then you're going to be giving women horrible experiences, whether it's online, whether it's in person, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why it's good for you to understand that it's not the places you're going. It's not that you're doing online dating and all girls on online dating suck, or you try to meet girls at bars and all girls at bars suck, and it's not girls at parties suck. It's that if you don't have the right method and understanding and knowledge of what women need to experience from you to build attraction, you're going to suck in every arena. That's why I got a whole YouTube channel. That's why I got a whole website, StopLosingWomen.com, where you can go to sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can also sign up for a 3-day free trial of the Get Girls Academy and start learning some of this stuff. I got a whole section in the Smart Digital Dating course on how to message women, what things to say to them, the right timing to actually ask them for dates. Like, that's knowledge that's going to help you have a leg up from other guys versus being like this guy thinking every girl I talk to online, they all eventually ghost. And it's like, it's your conversation, dude. And if you knew the conversation to have, you wouldn't have those issues. So just something to consider. But again, you can check all that stuff out at StopLosingWomen.com. Just wanted to highlight that for you guys. So just understand, guys, like, I know I talk a lot about here about how texting kills attraction for online dating. Texting is the main way you're going to be able to get to know this woman until you get her on a date. And then once you get her on a date, you don't have to text as much. But suffice to say, if you don't have levels of decent texting game, at least enough to know how to build her attraction, then you're going to lose out every time. And I want you to get great at that. That's all I got for this particular episode. If you like it, like this video, subscribe. If you're listening on the podcast, you can check out youtube.com/StopLosingWomen to actually see this show. Because I basically record it and then take the video audio and then put it in the podcast. But you can see my wonderful face and outfit on the actual show. So that's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Stop Losing Women podcast. See you later, big boy.